Hello, and thanks for spending the next few minutes of your life listening to me talk. I'm Tony Evans. You may know me from such games as Mask of the Betrayer, Storm of Zahir, Alpha Protocol, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, and Dragon Age 2. That's a lot of twos, huh? Unlike some of the other members of the Torment team, I didn't have the opportunity to work on Planescape Torment. I was busy toiling on another RPG back then. However, Planescape Torment is, to this day, my very favorite computer role-playing game, and it has influenced every single game I've worked on since its release. Years later, when I got to work with Chris Avallone, he told me if he ever had an opportunity to return to Torment, he would hunt me down and drag me onto the development team. I'm very proud to have worked with several legendary RPG developers, including New World Computing, Obsidian Entertainment, and BioWare. In the long, winding road of my career, I've learned a lot about the right way to make RPGs, and I've also learned a lot about the wrong way to make RPGs. I've even tried a few innovations that taught me some of both. So I'm going to take you on a trip through combat and mechanics in Torment. And where we're going, we don't need roads. Torment is driven by the story and by the choices you make. Combat is one of many options you'll have, and we aim to make it just as compelling as any other decision you can make. We're starting with the combat mechanics of Monty Cook's Numenera tabletop game. It's a very flexible system that supports our narrative focus, yet has enough complexity to make combat both strategically and tactically interesting. Numenera provides a great starting point for Torment's combat, and we'll be working with Monty to adapt it to best suit a computer role-playing game. One really neat mechanic in Torment, which goes beyond the Numenera rules, and that Mur referred to earlier, is you'll have the unique ability to manipulate pain. And this ain't no sissy Dakota Fanning from Twilight twaddle. You can take pain inflicted on yourself in combat and divert it to your companions, or protect your companions by taking on their pain yourself. Be careful how you use this ability, though, as it could seriously impact how your companions react to you. Not all of them will react badly, though. Some companions have a high threshold of pain, while others may refuse to tolerate it. Some feed on pain, and may even grow more powerful, but become resentful over time. Maybe they don't want to be powerful. Some of your companions will have special abilities of their own that you can use both in combat and in the narrative. For example, there may be a crippled, junky beggar who regains vitality by devouring Numenera, and uses this power to blast foes with waves of pure energy. Or an ultra-dimensional traveler who can perceive one's life force and sever it at a whim. Like every choice in Torment, combat will have consequences. It may open doors for you, or it may close them, and it will affect your tides, so be careful how you choose. We're approaching combat from a less is more philosophy. Rather than facing endless waves of trash mobs that have little or no meaning and can be resolved with 2 shakes of a wand to fireballs, Torment will have fewer, but much deeper combat encounters, where the strategic and narrative decisions that you make both before and during combat will impact not just your hit points, but the game's story. For example, imagine you're negotiating with a group of cultists, and it isn't really going well. They're reaching for their weapons right when a giant cragworm blasts an enormous hole through their inner sanctum. What do? Will you choose to aid the cultists against the monstrosity? Score some brownie points? Or maybe be a bit of a worm yourself and stab the cultists in the back? Or you could just grab what you came for and leave the cragworm to its snack. Or maybe just kill them all, because you know, blood makes the grass grow. Another cool feature that will play into combat is character foci. Numenera's character focus helps to define your character. We have a few really neat foci planned already. One example is Jack's focus, which is explores dark places, the archetype of a treasure hunter with a dark side. This focus can let you see better in low-light areas and stun or daze an opponent with a critical hit. Another focus is Works Miracles. Characters of this persuasion have the ability to manipulate time and matter to help others. An especially neat ability of this focus is Undo. Turn back time a few seconds to right some wrong. You can probably imagine how such a power could have great effect, both in combat and in conversations. Combat comes in a variety of flavors. You may be familiar with the terms turn-based, which Wasteland 2 uses, and real-time with pause, which is what Planescape Torment had. Hybrid systems are also possible, but the devil's in the details, and what matters most is not the basic system, but how we implement it, and that's what we're focused on. The most exciting thing about combat to me is that we're making the combat system you want. What system is that? Well, you get to tell us. And if you're wondering, well, how can we promise it'll be good if we can't even settle on a basic system? Simple. We're going to present you with the options that have enough specifics detailed to meet our goals for combat, and then you'll weigh in. Regardless of what's decided, you can be sure as winter is coming that we're going to make the combat system fun and design it so that it both complements the narrative and adds to the gameplay. And those of you who are alpha system testers will get to try out our combat system early and help us make it truly great. Even though we plan to provide ways to avoid most, if not all, combat encounters through your decisions, we still want combat in Torment to rival that of the best computer role-playing games. Thanks for watching this video update. A big thank you for making Torment possible, and an enormous thank you for funding the game well enough to bring me on board as a stretch goal. I'm phenomenally excited. On behalf of the entire Torment team, we're really looking forward to making an amazing role-playing game with you and for you.
Updated my combat.
Hello there, can I take your order?
Yes, I'd like an epic RPG, an extra-large narrative with a side of intense combat.
I'm sorry, brother, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the order?